It's like, there's no abort on this thing. What do I do? Oh well. What? Oh, the skylight. Excellent. Can't do anything about that. Well, hello. Welcome to Finding Aiur. We are casting early today because I'll be busy later tonight. Yeah. Anything I should mention? No, nothing's really coming to mind before we get started, so I'll load the game and we'll start analyzing StarCraft as we do every week.
As was our original name.
Yes. Because I was uncreative and didn't care to be creative at the time.
Hey, it gets viewership. People search StarCraft analysis, it'll come pretty far up to the top compared to Finding Aiur.
Well, no one's going to search Finding Aiur, and if they do search Finding Aiur, then there's not much competition.
Yes, but how many people search the words Finding Aiur?
I don't know. Not many, I'd assume. Anyways, we're gonna get into game now, and if you'll introduce our players.
Alright, spawning in the bottom left, the red Protoss, NRC Esports Community Aiur. And spawning in the top right, the challenger, the blue Protoss, Sestructor.
Okay, so we have a PvP, and I think Sestructor is... I wasn't paying attention, but he might... I'm guessing he's higher ranked than Zenador on some level. Didn't quite catch it because I was talking about something or other.
I was listening to you talk about something or other.
Anyways, Zenador is going to scout after his gateway. So standard timing. You usually don't see a 9-pylon scout in PvP unless they're trying to double gas steal. That's like the only reason why you would ever do that.
We haven't seen that at all, have we?
Well, I mean, this is the map to do it on, as the gases are right next to each other. And Zenador might still take one gas.
There we go!
As I was saying, it's not uncommon for him to do that. One response I've seen, though, to the single gas steal that I think is very sensible is that just forgate them. Because essentially they've invested 75 resources in the early game to this gas, to stealing your gas, which means that they will be behind in terms of getting their stalker count to match yours, or not necessarily their stalker count, but their minerals they have to work with will be lower. So if you go for a 4-gate as quickly as possible, chrono boost your cyber over and over again, it's very hard to stop because they've basically prevented your late game at the cost of their early to mid game. That's assuming you're comfortable with changing your build on the fly. It looks like Sestructor is just going to build the same amount of probes and take his gas later. Oh, that's the other thing. You need less probes, whereas your opponent is trying to capitalize on the fact that they have 2 gas. So then they have to build up to 22 probes, whereas you only have to go up to 19 for a 1 gas 4-gate. And that's kind of why I have a certain amount of double or nothing feel when it comes to the gas steal. But I mean, there's definitely a time and place to do this. And against certain opponents, it's a very useful tactic because this gives Xenador a lot of vision. He knows the exact timing of the well, he's been able to see every chrono boost that goes into the Cyber. And I mean, he's only on 1 Stalker because he knows that that gas hasn't been cleared. So he's not pumping out another Stalker because there can't be an Oracle. There's not enough gas for a Stargate and an Oracle at this phase of the game. Looks like Xenador is going to go for a Stargate himself, actually. So I think largely the reason for this gas steal was so that the Stalker count would be low and his Oracle would be able to do as much damage as possible. As it is, Seth Structure has not built any Stalkers yet. He has gas, so he can. He just was focused on clearing the gas and didn't think to build a Stalker. So I will also note that Seth Structure has gone for this, yeah. That could be useful depending on how much he is able to saturate it. It also makes a lot of sense on this map, because taking a 3rd is virtually impossible. If you take your 3rd here, you'll get cut off going between your natural and your 3rd. You take it here, all this open space, your Colossi will never get the proper engagement. So at the end of the day, taking this as your 3rd is much more favorable. So Structure is oversaturated in his main, so he should transfer probes, but this is not done yet, so it's like, where is he supposed to transfer them to? Xenador is going to uncharacteristically take an expansion before attacking in a PvP. Huh?
There's the Oracle.
Yes. Okay, so it looks like Xenador was actually going for a Stargate expand, which not sure why he picked that for this map. It's not a bad map for a Stargate expand, but there are other builds that are better here. But hey, it's a good PvP build, so maybe he was practicing this build for some reason and he was just doing it on every map. There is 1 Stalker out already. Warp Tech is done. He's just finally turning his warp gates to, or his gateways to warp gates. This Oracle is delayed and a bit late, I want to say, even for being delayed. I mean, they should have probably been here half a minute ago. But there is no photon overcharge, so these probes are going to have to run, as there is only 1 Stalker, and 1 Stalker will not cut it against an Oracle. Apparently Siri thought I was talking to her. The Oracle is going to keep picking off probes, so good control from Xenador. He's making sure that he attacks the light units and ignores the Stalker. And he's going to back off now. as the second stalker is out. He's gonna go check the natural and probably say to himself, wow, I'm playing against a really bad player. So he might be scratching his head at this point in the game.
That definitely must have hurt his economy.
Oh yeah. Essentially, that nullifies. So, what Sestructor wants to do, or what he was trying to do, was build up his probe count at his main, transfer it to his hidden base, and start mining from both locations. Senador, basically, with the Oracle, prevented that. He took his own natural and killed all the probes that Sestructor would have transferred. So Zenador will transfer his probes and they will be approximately in the same place. Except Zenador has an easier time defending both bases, but Zenador doesn't know that there are two bases on the map. So this Oracle's nice for Sestructor. And since Senador opened Stargate, he may not know about that for quite some time, if ever. Wait, is he getting another?
You mean observer?
Yes, I did mean observer. What is he doing with his stalkers? Zenador gearing up for an attack? I mean, I guess he can. He has 4 gateways, a Stargate. He's gonna get a 5th and a Forge. And then, okay, so Zenador is going for 1.5 base timing. What I mean by this is that both his bases are like just past halfway in saturation. So this gives him the income of 1.5 bases, and then he's on 5 gateways, which basically will give him. So what he's doing is he's setting up for a very awkward timing to have to. It looks like his Oracle flew in again and probably died, as it's not on the map anywhere. So this is the sort of thing that this observer has no idea that's. I mean, it's been here the whole time, and Zenador really didn't do anything to imply that this was coming, because, I mean, the only way you're going to know this is happening is if you see this probe coming out with this army, that movement. So that observer would have had to be like here in order to figure that out, but it wasn't. So with 2 Void Rays out, a 3rd one will be out soon. Zenador is going to have a lot of DPS in his army. He's gonna need to get more support for his Void Rays, so that's what the 5 gateways are for. It will allow him to warp in Stalkers, Zealots. He probably won't be warping in too many more sentries than what he already has, because he wants his gas to go into his Stargate. But he is going to start working away at these rocks, because I guess he assumes that his opponent should have taken their natural by now. So Structure is more or less on par with Zenador in terms of probes. We can actually... where's the income?